Well, alright, people, so I just want to do a video on racism here, or the non-existence of racism more specifically. I'm just so sick of hearing about it in the news every day. You hear about it, how rampant it is in our country. You even see people saying it's like the worst it's ever been. And it's really a disgrace, to people who lived 100 or 150 years ago, Native American, black people, or the Native Americans who lived in this country 100 or 150 years ago, who actually went through real persecution. And if you take a history class, like a post-Civil War history class, or you'll learn about, the hardships that these people went through, and they're not even comparable to the days of today. And, people always say, oh, we need equality in our country. We need equality. Well, newsflash, there's 320 million people living in this country. You could always... There's going to be racism somewhere, whether it's black racism or white racism. It's not just one side, people. You could always point to somebody and pick them out and put them on the front page of the headlines and say, hey, look how racist America is. One person called a black person a nigger. Oh, look how racist everybody in America is. Look how racist white people are. I'm just so sick of hearing about it, because every time that there's a white person or a KKK or a white supremacist, they're always put on the front page of the newspapers. But every time Black Lives Matter, talks about killing cops, or, Black Lives Matter, I equate that to the white supremacist. It's basically the same thing. What's the difference between a white supremacist who builds up the white person and says, hey, white people are a superior race. White people have accomplished a lot. What's the difference? Then you just got Black Lives Matter talking about black people and the so-called injustice of cops killing black people and accusing white people of racism. It's basically the same thing, because they never talk about times when white people get persecuted against. No, let's not talk about that. Let's just cover the let's just cover the instances of racism where black people are persecuted against, and most of them are not even true. The whole Black Lives Matter movement was founded on a lie about the Michael Brown, I believe that was his name, Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot bullshit. So I'm sick of people saying that America is just like so racist. And when people are calling Donald Trump a racist, a white supremacist, that's calling all his voters and supporters white supremacists. So you're basically saying that half, or a third of the country, or a quarter of the country is racist. Do you really think that many Americans are dumb enough to elect a racist? And if you don't agree with a liberal on policy matters, well, then you're, for example, if you don't agree with government-run healthcare, then you think, then you somehow support kids getting killed or dying. If you think food stamps shouldn't exist, or you think that, Medicare or Medicaid is shouldn't exist, or there should be a free market healthcare system, well, then you hate poor people and you think they should die somehow. Or if you don't support abortion, then you're anti-woman and you're a sexist. If you're not a feminist, you're a sexist. It's just, if you don't agree with these people, then you're just this horrible person. If you think we should get rid of DACA, or get rid of or have a how should I put this? Have a strict immigration policy. Well, then you're a xenophobe. You're a Islamophobe. You're all these fucking words. And I'm just so sick of hearing about all the racism against white people. All the racism coming from the white man. Like, we're so fucking bad. Like, we're the worst fucking thing since Adolf Hitler. Actually, we are Adolf Hitler, because a lot of people are comparing Trump to Hitler. And again, we had a black president, many black people in all venues of society, entertainment, politics. You name it. There's black people in prominent roles throughout society. And so I'm just sick and tired of hearing about all the race. For God's sakes, there's affirmative action. What the fuck do you call that? Is that racism? If anything, it's racism against white people. So, And I mean, I guarantee you 99% of America is not racist. What the media calls racist, is not really racist. I mean, when you hear that word now, you got to take it with a grain of salt, which is really a shame, because when maybe the media gets it right one time and calls somebody a racist and they actually are a racist, you might not believe them, because every time they call something racist, it's not racist. It's a totally rational thought. That word's thrown around all the fucking time now. So I'm just so sick of hearing, like, with Charlottesville. All they talk, Charlottesville's, the front page in the news. But they never talk about the violence on the left. They never talk about Black Lives Matter. They never talk about Antifa. It's all about the white supremacist. And then Trump comes out and says, yeah, there are some logical people who are actually saying that, hey, we want to leave these statues up and we don't want to take them down. There's some peaceful protesters that are saying that on one side, and then there's some peaceful protesters on the other side that say they want to take them down. And then there's the violent people like the white supremacists, the racists, and the Antifa. And he said, I condemn those people. I condemn the Nazis. I condemn the violence and the bigotry. But at the same time, I support the people rallying peacefully. Because there are people who, were there at the rally who were peaceful people. I mean, you can't say every fucking person there was a bad person. And then the media construes that and says that, oh, Trump says he supports white supremacists and that he doesn't condemn them. And they just lie. They lie so fucking much. And the idiots who don't pay attention to anything and just eat up everything they see on mainstream media, then go along, oh, Trump's a racist, oh, And one last thing, too. People, again, like I'm saying, the media only acts like black racism or racism against black peoples. That's the only thing, that's the only time, minorities are the only group that gets persecuted in this country. But I don't know how many times people have called Trump supporters, idiots or racist or sexist. That's the same thing as racism. Accusing somebody of racism for their political beliefs is racism. I cannot tell you how many people I've seen says on their social media accounts, fuck Trump supporters. They're the worst people in the world. I don't go up to people and say, hey, you supported Bernie Sanders. You're a dumb fuck. You're a racist. You're a sexist. No, it's called you have different political beliefs. And again, I don't know how many people I've seen that say on their social media accounts, don't talk to me if you're a Trump supporter. Fuck off if you're a Trump supporter. That's pretty much racism. That's discrimination right there. I don't go up to people and say, hey, are you a Bernie supporter? Oh, well, if you are, you can't be my friend, or, I don't want to talk to you. It's like people can't handle if somebody else has a different opinion of them. If they do, they must be racist, right? Yeah. So, all right, I've done enough ranting on this. It just pisses me the fuck off. When you're accusing America of being this really racist place, again, it's really a slap in the face to the white person, because that's who you're blaming for all the racism. But it really happens on both sides, and it happens in a much smaller amount than the media would like you to believe. So there you go, people.